Thank you very much, guys. I'm joined here by Maxlore, Powerofevil, and Hans Sama after what was honestly a very impressive performance from Misfits once again. And Maxlore, I have to come to you first. You're always very outspoken. And what does it do to you? How does it feel to do this? Beat Unicorns of Love last week, no sweat. Beat Fnatic today and kind of prove a lot of people wrong.
I'm actually extremely happy that we won. But I'm not really, I think I played good, but I made a few mistakes that may have costed the early game, or, for example, game 3, I could have done better at the Baron, and it just threw, and they won the game, you know?
So you're more personally a bit disappointed in your play, but I think the team might be very happy with the team's play overall. Tristan, what are your main thoughts after doing almost the unthinkable and beating Fnatic here?
Well, well, so first of all, I'm extremely happy for my team because not only, we had a huge upset against Unicorns of Love. Before Unicorns of Love, I need to say personally, I was really worried about facing them because we lost always against them. But against Fnatic, I need to say our sport psychologist, Isma, helped me a lot to just go into the games with no pressure. And honestly, today was probably my first career game where I had zero pressure on myself. And I feel like I performed insanely good with it. Yeah,
you guys all did. Hans Sama, was it similar for you? Did you also feel less nervous going into this match because you had such a great performance personally also versus the Unicorns? What was the stress like today?
I think it's mostly because I play less scared than I used to do in the regular split. And it cost us, for me, playing so much better on stage against UL and Fnatic. And I'm pretty happy. Before the game, I always have the mindset to play more aggressive in lane. Just be more decisive, and it worked pretty well. So I'm happy today for our performance.
Yeah, great stuff. Congratulations. Talk to me about game 3 specifically, because it was all going really well. And then the question was, will Fnatic ride this momentum out, reverse sweep them? How much was that mentally playing, Tristan?
Well, as I said before, after the third game, I was not worried at all because we won the 2 first games in such a, I would say, convincing fashion. And third game, I played Galio, and Galio is not a carry champion. So, fourth game, I was playing with Sidra again, and I felt really confident in that matchup, and we just went through it.
Yeah, I thought you keep looking at Maxlore like you're saying something.
Max was judging me. He's giving me that look,
I have to say, the last couple of weeks, I feel like you've become more confident in interviews as well. Last week, we're not going to, repeat it, but there were some words dropped. We heard the in-game communication as well. Do you feel like Tristan is also rising to the next level and feeling more confident game per game?
By far! By far.
Yeah, by far. All right. Taking cues from the audience there. Okay, let's take a step back and look at Misfits, the one-year plan. We've said it so much, and that's also what you guys came out with. You were a big part of the change there, and I hear you all three talking much about kind of psychology and the mental. What in the end was the crucial difference that made you guys play, honestly, so much better and so much more complete in the playoffs compared to what we've seen from you so far?
Well, I would say it's because throughout the split, I think everyone has been getting more confidence and more used to playing with me. So like Hans said, he was struggling with confidence at the beginning of his laning phase. Now he's just smashing kids.
Paraphrase nicely.
Also, we are a lot more comfortable with the drafts that our coaches prepare. So we go into the games knowing what's going to happen, know what we're going to sacrifice and what we're going to play and how we're going to play around it, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas during the split, we didn't have the greatest grasp of the meta and what our style was or how we should play or whatever. And now it's all coming together really nicely. So yeah, that's what's kind of proving the confidence when we go in game and we press tab, we see our champs, we see enemy champs, we're like, oh, what a free win.
Tristan, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, I wanted to jump in, and I would say another important factor is the decisiveness, what Hans said before as well, that in the regular split, we were all the time can we finish that Baron? Should we turn? But now we're just finish the Baron, turn, stop at 3K, turn now, and I feel like we're so decisive, and that just wins us so many games.
And everything's much cleaner, it seems like, in game as well, where you've had troubles before of snowballing or finishing out in the mid game. That seems better. Tristan, a lot of our stories this split have been around this Powerofevil, the only carry. on the Misfits? And where is the Hansama prodigy that we've seen in Challenger? Where is Alfari? Hans, did that personally affect you as well? The fact that maybe you knew I can do better, but I'm not doing it somehow.
I can do better, like in terms of individual play, I would say, but in Spring Split and I think I liked more that team play, our own team play, and I struggled to learn it. And for like one split, I learned quite a lot, and I'm knowing a lot more about macro. And so during the split, I played more scared because I always think of the enemy jungler and she's there, and and I just respected the enemy jungler a lot. But those series, I think I respected him less because this was a death on the third game, I think, but it's fine. I play more like relaxed, more aggressive.
Who would you say you're learning from a lot within the team? Obviously, the coaching staff and the analysts. But is there someone of your teammates and players that you say, oh, he's really taught me a lot this year? Or not, that's also fine.
Oh, in Spring Split, Gina taught me a lot, and Hussein too. So I'm glad they're there to work with me.
Yeah, definitely. You talk about respect and respecting all the things, and we noticed in the first games that Fnatic was doing a lot of plays that they pulled off in the regular season, but maybe they also had a bit of disrespect, and maybe they also got trapped in the Misfits are the underdog idea. Did you have the same impression when you were in-game, or is that just a wrong assessment from me?
Well, I feel like we kind of knew how they play more now, and we've also progressed as a team. And when we do something, we're all five on the same page, whereas I feel like Fnatic might not all be on the same page. And so in that instance, they can give up an objective because of that. We could be faster in tempo. And I believe that's what we want today.
Maxlore, you famously said in the beginning of the split, I'll be the best jungler if I am not already. We often laughed about it, and I think you were able to banter about it as well. You're good like that, but honestly, you were great in the series. You've been good in the playoffs. How good how far do you think you're off from that goal?
Well, it really depends on how the enemy jungler plays as well, right? So if enemy jungler played perfectly this series, then he would have been better, and they would have maybe won, but we both made mistakes. So I'm not going to go out of this series and say like I played perfectly, I smashed this guy. I still made loads of mistakes that I have to learn from. However, I do believe I'm up there in the jungle rankings, maybe underrated, but that's fine. And we'll prove it in finals or possibly worlds.
Yeah, you made up some ranks, my friend.
You're like the perfect mix between the banter and a bit of the light trash talk and the humbleness. I think the fans may appreciate. You're like, yeah, of course I am. Yeah. Before we move on to the bracket and your possible opponent in the finals, I want to go to you, Hansama. A very special day is coming up, and I'm just not only talking about the final. You get to play in Paris in front of the crazy French crowd, and I've also had someone tell me, a couple of people, that you are very, very loved there, and they will be screaming your name. On top of that, it is your birthday, this Saturday in Paris. How are you looking forward to just that weekend?
I'm looking forward for this match to September. It's my birthday, and the match I will try my best to prepare the best I can for the series, and I will be really proud to play in my hometown and will make my French fans proud.
I think they will cheer a lot for you as well, and it will help the rest of the team. We're very excited to see you there. Let's take a look at the bracket and talk about your possible opponents in the final, because tomorrow G2 up versus H2K. So in terms of worlds, right, you guys have sent Fnatic to the gauntlet no matter what. If G2 win tomorrow, that means that you guys either win the split or either second. And then you go to Worlds either way. So I can imagine you'd want G2 to win. But realistically, what do you think about this matchup tomorrow?
I think it's going to be favored for G2. I think they've picked up a lot in playoffs and they're playing pretty good right now. And I don't think H2K will keep up with them in macro.
Oh, I saw you. I don't know if you agreed.
After the Splash series, I'm not that sure about that one, because I think H2K improved a lot, and if they can just pull out their regular split performance, then they can, I think, beat them in the 3-2 fashion.
I think you should say G2 will win, so it gives them confidence. So they can.
G2 will 100% win.
Yeah.
I trust in them.
Good. So you have the blessing of these guys here. Hansama, do you have a preference for tomorrow? Obviously the G2, but who do you think will win?
G2.
G2, yeah.
I believe in G2.
You believe in G2,
Yes,
giving
ma'am.
them all your powers. We'll see.
Yeah, we're sorry for HGK, but G2 will
Actually,
win.
one person needs to swap to HTK or the caster curse or whatever it's called.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be
HTK
a pro
will win.
player curse.
HTK will win.
Wait, so you just took my spot before I said HGK will win,
did?
and then now he's changing it around.
I thought he would say HTK.
So in the famous words of Daniel Drakos, will you win the title, Maxlore?
There's a high chance of it, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why don't you laugh at me, but you laughed in his face when he asked you that question.
No, but there's something I said during this bit, and that's when it's someone's birthday, you can't lose. And it's his birthday on Saturday, so...
It is. So all the stars have aligned. So maybe a final question to wrap it up. It's been a roller coaster for you guys from our perspective, and I feel for you guys as well. You play the regular split, you don't really beat any top teams consistently. Then you come in, people think you'll be the underdog, which you are. You beat the Unicorn 3-0. You beat the fabled possible winners of the split, Fnatic 3-1. It's super convincing. How do you hang on to that now? How do you make sure that you replicate that in just 1 week and you show everyone wrong, Tristan?
Well, I think in nearly every team I were, I was always the underdog. UL, we were always the underdog. Origin, Spring Split, then we got second as well. We were always the underdog. And I think Misfits right now as well, like we became sixth. And I feel like it's just easy to play as an underdog.
Easier to play as an underdog. I think it shows so far. You guys have done fantastically. Thank you guys very much for speaking to me. Congratulations on a fantastic performance in the playoffs so far. And we will see you guys in Paris.
See you there?
Yeah, I left the pause, but that was a bit awkward for me. All right, thank you guys very much. We are going to sign off right now. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow with G2 versus H2K, so we'll see you then.